Thank you for waking up with us this morning. This is the South African Morning right here on eNCA. Now, the Gauteng Department of Education will be deploying armed security guards to schools identified as high risk. Now, at least 245 schools in the province fall under this category. The safety of pupils as well as teachers has become a concern over the years, with several incidents of stabbing, of shootings, as well as bullying. Department spokesperson Steve Mabona joins us to give us more information on this. A very good morning to you, Steve. Very much of an early riser. You were in here this morning with your cup of coffee, ready to do the business of the day. Very concerning, Steve, that we are starting to see these measures, which, yes, are necessary, but transpiring and happening in schools, which are supposed to be places of safety. What led to this decision finally being made?
Good morning, Tammy, and to all our viewers. Look, the situation is compelling. One would say, initially we would have said we don't want to send armed guards or security personnel in our schools. But after we have conducted a research, through our School of Leadership and Governance, that is Metu Koniwe, we have identified 245 schools, which they were deemed to be in the high-risk areas. High-risk areas in the sense that there's a level of violence that is high in the areas. There's a crime that is, perpetuated around our schools. And there's violence, among learners. Our educators are scared sometimes to even discipline, learners who are ill-disciplined coming from our communities. So hence we felt that working with the parents, the SGBs and the school principals, we should be in a position to manage this process better. But we felt that as a matter of agency, the 75 schools that we have put them up in the list, they need the armed security personnel so that we can then manage the situation.
How armed is this armed, as in the visibility of the guns? Yes, there are some security personnel already in some of the schools. I'm thinking now about the level of intimidation, and I'm thinking about the psychology of the learners as they enter the schools and how this might affect them. Have you taken a look into that and how that may be received?
Well, our priority is the curriculum delivery, but also the well-being and the safety of our educators, learners, and parents that will probably interact with our schools. So, like as we have indicated, that the situation is dire to an extent that we had to go back and even repurpose. We didn't even have the money. We had to repurpose the budget to say, in the interim, let's repurpose and make sure that to a certain extent, because there's this research which has confirmed that we really need to do this. Let's then prioritize. That's why MEC felt that before implementation, let's interact with the 75 principals and the SGB members to say we need support. There's a school safety committees that are linked to parents, and they will be working very closely with us and the department. Yes, the situation is that to an extent that those learners, we are protecting them as well.
And how much is this going to cost?
Well, we should be in a position to, after the implementation, to come with the figures to say this is what the project will be costing us. But we will be in a position to share that at the later stage, because we're starting with 75 and then we'll move to the remainder. So all the 245 will have that process.
You will remember it was last year when there was an incident of a teacher who was actually gunned down, on the school premises as well. There are also issues of school premises being vandalized after hours in the evening. Is the security going to be available 24/7, or is it merely during teaching hours?
The research compels that it must be 24/7. To a certain extent, we know that during recess, we have, vandalism of schools, breaking-ins, where our equipment is stolen. And we are just saying to the members of the community, though we'll be having, armed personnel, but let's work together, let's blow the whistle, because police have confirmed that they will adopt those schools, but the members of the community need to report. I mean, we don't work at night in our schools. If there's something that they see that is untoward, they need to report so that the police then, work with us. Because, I mean, the criminal world, Some might take advantage and find that cats are probably held hostage already and all those things. So to a certain extent, it's a security that we need, but we need, members of the community to work with us so that we succeed in this project.
And that's so important, to have buy-in from the communities, because ultimately these schools are within communities. They're not disjointed. They're not separate from the environment around them. Talk to us about the campaign that MEC Cholan is basically talking about now and initiating about bringing back the law.
No, definitely, because remember, there was a lot of stabbing, so that's why this is it's a holistic approach. We're not looking at only one thing. We're looking at the bullying, effect, which now has turned into most of the learners committing suicide. Those bullies need to be, managed. They need to repent from their deeds. You manage them, you take them to necessary tours so that they can see how life is. And also, don't expel a child from one school and then the following week one is placed at a different school. So we need commitment from parents. If a child is expelled, let's see, there's proof that one has undergone through a program that will be saying you're not supposed to be leading your life in this way. Let's save yourself.
So is this what Operation Khutlamulao is about, that the MEC is launching at Sizwe High School?
Definitely. I mean, it's Khutlamulao. We need order, we need discipline, we need a safe environment for both our teachers and our learners and the parents that will be interacting with us, in our environment.
So yes, it's launching at Sizwe High School. Is it then going to make its way through to the other high schools across the province?
The launch, we are done with the launch. What we were doing, we were just saying to the 75 schools, because we invited all of them, the 75, that this is what we are giving you. We are giving you arm cards, we are giving you CCTV cameras. We're going to train parents, those that will be in the safety committees. We're going to train principals on how to work very closely, because those CCTV cameras will be linked to the provincial command center, who will be, the police, community safety will be in a position to see from where they are sitting what is happening there. Dispatching of the Amapanyaza to conduct those search and seizures with the police, do that work, unannounced. Those are the things that we want to do. That's why we're saying it's Khutlamulao. Don't want any ill discipline factor to be in during our school with the learners. We don't want anything that is untoward. Drug peddling, which we have identified is a problem. Social Development has agreed that they're going to be sending about 500 agents who will be working very closely with the learners and make sure that there's no element of drug consumption and peddling.
What I see about your approach as the department is, yes, you are confronting the external factors, which are the criminals coming into the institutions, but also, and I think also very importantly, you're focusing on the learners themselves and the teachers themselves, so that from the outside to the inside as well. Steve Mabona, thank you so much for your time. He is the spokesperson for the Gauteng Department of Education. Steve Mabona.